Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, May 18th, 2020. Looking at fire potential impacts over the next few days, we will see some gusty winds across the Great Basin through Wednesday. The strongest winds will be on Monday and Tuesday. We are most concerned about the orange highlighted areas, as those have the driest fuels. Further north into the west, we will see some gusty winds, but the fuels there aren't as dry. We are looking at a cold front that will bring cool and wet weather to the western half of the area through Tuesday, and then by Wednesday there will be cooler and wetter weather across all but southeastern Utah. Over the past 24 hours, there was some precipitation across the northwestern part of the Great Basin and very little lightning. We are starting to see fire activity pick up across the Great Basin when we did have a pretty large fire across the Arizona Strip. Precipitation has been pretty far below normal, as you can see from these two images. These are looking at the comparison of normal for precipitation for the past 7 and 30 days, and really incredibly dry across the entire Great Basin over at least the past month. ERCs are beginning to rise across the Great Basin. You can see some areas across southeastern Utah in the 70 to 79th percentile. Overall, we are expecting ERCs to fall by Wednesday with that cooler and wetter weather coming in. Continuing to look at those ERC trends, you can see GB22, which is in southern Nevada, right around normal. Further east, however, GB32 is pretty close to record. Live fuel moistures are generally at average, or maybe a little above average. This is our sagebrush moisture. You can see trending a little above average for the time of year. The really exceptional thing is how dry our fine fuels are. This is our 10-hour fuel moisture. You can see it's very low across large portions of the Great Basin. And this is one of our main concerns right now is how dry the fuels are. Satellite image today shows a low pressure system making its way into the Pacific Northwest. We do have cloudy conditions across much of the Great Basin this morning with moisture ahead of that low pressure system, and that storm will impact our weather pretty significantly over the next few days. For today, again, you can see that low pressure system reflected in that forecast map, along with the moisture associated with it. You can also see the really dry conditions across the southeastern part of the Great Basin, along with the gusty winds, and that's our main area of concern. We do have a high risk out for wind across the southeastern part of the Great Basin today. Looking at today in more detail, you can see those strong winds that are forecast for this afternoon on that image there on the left, looking at 35 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts in some places, and really low relative humidities across the southeastern portions of the Great Basin. Temperatures today will be pretty warm across the southeastern half of the Great Basin, moving west into Nevada and parts of western Idaho. You can see cooler temperatures where that cold front is beginning to influence the weather. As we move into Tuesday, that low pressure system will make its way into the Great Basin. We are concerned about Arizona Strip in southeastern Utah with those dry, windy conditions in the forecast for Tuesday. We have high risk issued for Tuesday for that reason. Looking at that wind forecast map, again, really gusty across the eastern part of the Great Basin ahead of that cold front, and looking at really low relative humidities across the eastern part of the Great Basin and much higher relative humidities further west behind the cold front. I'm just taking a look at temperatures, pretty cool across western Nevada, highs in the 50s to 60s across much of that state, much warmer further east. As we move into Wednesday, that low pressure system is still slowly making its way through the Great Basin. Could still see some gusty winds on Wednesday. We can see that forecast here. So again, gusty winds across about the eastern half of the Great Basin on Wednesday. Now looking at those temperatures, much cooler across the entire area by Wednesday. Over the next 3 days, the majority of the precipitation will be focused on Nevada and Idaho, with that low pressure system making its way through the area. On Thursday, staying moist and cool across the north, drying a bit across the south. Then as we move into Friday, that secondary weather disturbance pushing its way back through the Great Basin, sending another cold front through the area. So really looking at unsettled weather through the end of the week. Then on Saturday, another weather disturbance moving through the area. We'll likely see unsettled, cooler, wetter weather across many areas on Saturday, and that continuing into Sunday. The 7-day period, again looking at precipitation across much of the Great Basin. The areas that will be missed will be far southern Nevada, Arizona Strip, southeastern Utah. Those are really the driest areas, so looking at fields continuing to dry in those portions of the Great Basin. An 8 to 14 day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across the entire Great Basin, with below normal precipitation across the north and above normal precipitation further south. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thank you.